Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to video 3 of my fitness journey. Today what I really want to do is talk to you a little bit about the importance of goal setting and really how crucial this can be in the success for your long-term lifestyle change that you might have. For me personally, I have found what has been really effective for me has been setting myself small, realistic, bite-sized kind of fitness goals. These have been brilliant for me in terms of mentally as well as physically to help me keep me motivated pretty much on a daily basis. In the beginning, what can be quite easy to do is when you're at the beginning stages and you're about to embark on a really exciting journey like this, is to put together sometimes an unrealistic goal, really. It might be in the beginning that you'd say, you know, when you're oozing with willpower, that I want to run the marathon, for instance. And when you're a bit of a novice, although that can be an incredibly inspiring goal to have, unfortunately what that does do is once that kind of initial buzz wears down, it's a lot of pressure that you're putting on yourself to perhaps, you know, get ready and train in time for the marathon, especially if you start off as a novice. And you know, more dangerously is perhaps the risks you run of actually having an injury when you run that marathon eventually, because if you haven't trained adequately, you could end up doing more harm than good, really. You could end up with quite a serious injury, put yourself out of action for a few months, and really, you know, really dampen all those initial, you know, rearing to go spirits that you had, and you don't want that. So that's probably something perhaps you can avoid doing in the beginning. What would be better is if you kind of set yourself a more realistic small goal. Sometimes a lot of people also fall into the trap of kind of saying, I'm going to go to the gym, for instance, every day for 6 days or 6 days of the week for an hour. Now that's great, and you know, top marks really for your, you know, noble intentions there, but unfortunately you don't really get any marks for just turning up, because you're not being so specific there in terms of what your goal is. It's just really pretty much to go to the gym, and sometimes it is not really always realistic to go to the gym every day. You know, things like life come into play, and it's not always possible to do that. Perhaps if you set a goal or your goal as in the beginning, be a little bit more flexible with your goal and start with, say, 10 minutes. I'm going to go and not even go to the gym, just say I'm going to do 10 minutes of physical activity today, enough to raise my breathing rate, and don't limit yourself as to what it is you're going to do. It might be possible for you to go to the gym one day and, you know, get a whole hour, an hour's worth of workout in, and that's great and great. But what about those days where it's not possible to go to the gym, and you know, you're pretty much at work from early morning to late in the evening, and you're pretty much shattered for the day? Instead of that day going to waste, if your goal is, say, for instance, in the beginning 10 minutes, you could just do some sit-ups, you can even run up and down the stairs. But the point here being is you're not being so strict in terms of actually nailing down what it is you're going to do. And if you start off with 10 minutes, that's great, because it's just 10 minutes minimum, so you can obviously do more and build that up gradually. And what you'll do there is that will be brilliant for, again, your levels of confidence, because you'll see that you know, you're moving up, and you know, mentally and physically, that is something that has worked for me. So that's something that's been effective for me. So perhaps you can try that in the beginning. Also, something else that I pretty much wanted to kind of talk about today as well was the importance of really not allowing yourself to fall into a trap of judging your own journey against somebody else's journey. Don't fall into the trap of looking at somebody else and saying, oh, look, isn't that great what they're doing, but she's having all these results and I'm not seeing anything. Don't let your ego really fall into that trap or falling into a victim mode. By all means, look at other people and be inspired by what they're doing, but don't allow that allow yourself to really judge your own performance, judge your own journey compared to somebody else's, because really you don't know what it's taken for them, what they've seen in their life to reach where they are now and what they're doing. So don't be so harsh on yourself, really. That is something that is really helpful, and it really kind of ensures that this stays very much a personal journey. And also the fact that it really helps you in the long term is because if you do find yourself always, or constantly looking at external sources, it really puts you on edge, really. Whereas if you focus on why it was in the beginning that you went on this journey, then those initial motivations help you to keep on track, and really prepare you for instances when people are not so kind, and that's unfortunately the reality of life, really. And sadly sometimes we crave support from people very close to us, and there will be times when they will withdraw that support, and how are you going to react to that? And that is really something, if you prepare for those moments in the beginning, it'll make it a lot easier for you to react appropriately and kind of handle any criticism or any holding back of support, and deal with those kind of emotional issues better, because sometimes emotionally that's the hardest thing really to overcome, when you have someone very close to you who you perhaps would want to support you, and they withhold that support. Those are the things that when you've got everything in place, those are the things sometimes that will end up being the main reasons why you fall off. So if you prepare for what you're going to do, and have almost like a task list, an action list of, if this happens, I will do this, but prepare for those eventualities, and then you've got a plan of action, something, and almost a list of what to do in those instances. And what's there another thing? Oh, last and by no means least, really important, remember to reward yourself. This is a really big journey, and it is something which at times really requires your all. So you have to reward yourself. Why not? You deserve it at the end of the day. And every time you reach a milestone, make sure you treat yourself, whether that treat is spending some quality me time, a spa day, if you're lucky enough to go to a spa, or just spending some time with the girls, buy yourself a nice pair of heels like I did yesterday. I've had my eye on these for some time now, and yesterday they arrived, and I was I was really happy because I deserved it. I'd been sticking to my own personal routine for some time, and having a reward like that really helps you stay motivated. I've put already another a goal in place now for myself, and I'm gonna really try my very best to reach that. This time my goal is from tomorrow I'm going to be juicing for 5 days, with Ramadan approaching. I did this last year actually. I juiced for 10 days a few weeks before Ramadan, and that was brilliant for me to kind of like mentally put my focus in place for the month ahead. So this year I've actually done a fast towards the beginning of the year, where I juiced for 10 days, and that was brilliant. That was at the pretty early stages of my journey, but now it's been a few months since then. it's time really for me to start again really. So this time I'm going to do it for 5 days. So I'll be back next week sharing with you how I found it. So that's what I'm going to do next week. So wish me luck for that. Again, if you found that you can relate to anything in my video that you've seen today, I'd love to hear from you. You can follow me on Facebook, or all the details of how to follow my journey will be at the bottom of this video in the blurb section. And yeah, so if you want to follow the journey, or if you would like to speak to me about anything that you found you could relate to, just drop me a message. And stay blessed until next week. I shall see you or not be speaking to you. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.